Emotions run high as the parents of a man who died while in Greensboro police custody demand answers from Mayor Nancy Vaughn. The Justice for Marcus Smith community meeting comes just days after the autopsy and the police body camera videos were released of the night that Smith died. WFMY News 2's Jessica Winters was at that heated meeting.
The autopsy for Marcus Smith lists several causes of death, including cardiac arrest due to restraint, drugs, and an underlying heart condition. His parents are angry. They want the police chief to be fired and an apology from the city.
Be quiet right now, Sister Ma'am. I'm talking. Be quiet.
Tense moments as Mayor Nancy Vaughn was told to sit down at the community meeting for Marcus Smith, the 38-year-old who died in Greensboro police custody back in September.
And we released that video and all the videos so you can see it.
GPD released the body cam video, and the Smith family believes how he was restrained killed him. Their lawyer spoke on their behalf.
And I want to be really clear about that this was a homicide.
GPD Chief Wayne Scott says the restraint known as a rip hobble was used exactly as protocol and used so he didn't harm himself or others while acting erratically under the influence. But those at the meeting called on the police chief to be fired as a response to Smith's death.
Answer the question, should he be fired?
And it was good to come out and hear what the community has to say, and I know that a lot of people will be at tomorrow's city council meeting.
Tomorrow night, family supporters will be at tomorrow's City Council meeting demanding an apology and compensation. Meantime, the district attorney's office says they'll meet with the State Bureau of Investigation for their report this week. Previously, the DA's office stated that the officers acted within the scope of their duties.